What's up, guys? Coach John Wojo here with JW Fitness, answering another question. Wondering if you use long resistance bands that attach to the door. Curious as to how to use them and if they are good. Can the amount of resistance be measured? What muscles are they effective for? Any recommendations? All right, so I've answered a lot of questions about resistance bands in other videos and have probably crapped all over them, and that's not. There are legitimate reasons for using bands when you're talking about training for strength and power and things like that. What I'm talking about with these bands are like the home bands, like people thinking that they're going to replace all of their resistance training by just simply using some cheap band resistance at home. And you have to understand how bands work in the first place, and versus what ultimately sends the best signal to your body for hypertrophy and growth. So we know that you want to work a muscle through its full range of motion. You want to work to a relatively close proximity to failure. You want to do a decent amount of volume of working sets per muscle group, per workout, and per week. We know that you want to it's important to go through a full range of motion and have the muscle that you're targeting. I'm just using my biceps as an example. You want to load that muscle and keep that muscle loaded in its most stretched position. That seems to be something that's key, right? So taking the concentric or the positive portion of the movement all the way up, squeeze for a moment, and then lower that weight under control until that muscle is fully lengthened under load, and then do it again, and that's how you perform your repetitions. Now, with bands, the very idea of banded resistance, and again, let's say I'm holding on to one end of the band, and I'm standing and I'm stepping on the other end. So I'm about to do a banded biceps curl, a standing banded biceps curl. At the bottom part of the movement, where you should still be feeling a tremendous amount of load, is when the band is stretched the least amount. And as you concentrically or curl the band up to its top position is when the band is stretched the most and providing the most amount of resistance. And then as you lower the band, you're also lessening the resistance that you're feeling until you get to the very bottom of the movement when the band is the least stretched, offering the least amount of resistance. So you can see the problem right away is that at the bottom, when you should have a full amount of resistance, you're not able to, because then you wouldn't be able to complete a repetition, because if you have to choose a band length, or how much you choke up on the band, or how much of the band that you step on to make it difficult for you, but you have to allow yourself. It has to be a resistance that you're able to actually complete, right? So you can only stretch the band so much to complete a repetition. So it's got to be something where you could reach the top of the movement for, a set of 10, but then at the bottom, it's going to be much lighter, and it's not providing the same amount of stress at the bottom of the movement than, let's say, a dumbbell would have, or a machine would have, which would have been more like continuous throughout. Or use another example. Let's say I wrap the band around, a doorknob behind me, and I have the band in each of my hands, and I'm doing a chest press or some type of, chest press / fly to try and work my chest and shoulders and triceps. So same idea. At the bottom of the movement, when your chest is stretched and it should be under the most amount of load that you can handle, that the band is not offering very much resistance. The resistance only starts to pile on as you really get to your arms extended position. And then as soon as you start lowering your hands, now the band is shrinking and it's not offering any real resistance until you're at the bottom when like the band is really not doing anything. So a band is not the number one choice for using when you're trying to develop hypertrophy, because it's not accommodating your natural strength curve. It's not providing the resistance evenly or where you need it in the fully stretched position. It's kind of letting its foot off the gas in the fully stretched position and only piling on when at the end of the exercise. So it is just simply not ideal. And just simply, and because it's not ideal and dumbbells and weights are easily available, then you might as well go with what is better for you than what is not better for you. You have a choice. So I would suggest then, in a way, like, stop being lazy. Like, buy yourself some dumbbells or barbells and use that. Or, a gym membership these days costs like $10, $20, and they have free weights and machines and everything your heart desires. Join a gym, and then you have everything at your disposal. And then you could be on a super kick-ass program making the best gains you could possibly make and not trying to reinvent the wheel at home. So that would be my advice. Guys, I hope you appreciate the content. Like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you soon.